Hello everyone, the chapter begins with Jin-Woo waking up to a call from his sister, reminding him about an interview at her school. Jin-Woo quickly becomes the center of attention during the meeting. The interviewer asks him if he is willing to let his sister become a hunter, given that she could attend any medical university she wants due to her excellent grades. Jin-Woo replies with a firm no, prompting the interviewer to mention there is a problem. The scene then transitions to Jin speaking with one of his sister's classmates, who also wants to become a hunter and is planning to leave school. Jin invites her to join his guild. Meanwhile, an agent from the association arrives at the airport to greet Dong-soo, an S-rank hunter who has come solely to settle a score with Jin-Woo in a dungeon. Jin is later seen arriving at a portal where reporters have gathered. An A-rank tank, Kim Chul, interrupts, urging everyone to hurry. Hunters of various ranks join the raid, entering the dungeon together. Jin-Woo senses a familiar energy, similar to what he felt in the double dungeon. It turns out that the C-rank portal has transformed into a red gate. Jin-Woo quickly warns the reporters to inform the S-rank hunters outside. Meanwhile, inside the portal, the girl asks Jin what's happening, and he explains that they are in a red gate. Unlike regular portals, red gates cut off all communication with the outside world, and the only way to escape is by defeating the boss or finding a dungeon break. He also warns that monsters inside are far stronger than the estimated rank. At that moment, they are attacked by ice elves, who immediately target the two weakest hunters, one of whom is the girl. She asks what these creatures are, and Jin explains that they are ice elves, feared by hunters and nicknamed White Demons. Kim Chul declares himself the leader since he is the strongest, stating that everyone must follow his orders to survive. He insists that hunters ranked C or lower should not accompany him. The girl decides to stay with Jin's group, splitting the team into two. Jin's group heads into the forest, while Kim's group goes in another direction. Kim's group soon encounters ice bears, but Kim proves his strength by easily defeating one on his own. Meanwhile, Jin's group is deep in the freezing forest. Jin pulls winter coats from his inventory to keep everyone warm. The girl questions who Jin really is, and he responds that since he brought her along, he will take responsibility for her. But she cannot ask him any questions. Jin tells the rest of the group not to ask or demand anything of him either. Their conversation is interrupted by the appearance of an ice bear. Outside, an S-rank hunter named Baek declares that the portal is now completely sealed, and even A-rank hunters will be lucky to survive. At the same time, Dong-soo arrives, having come only because he knows Jin-Woo is inside the portal. Dong-soo believes Jin will die in there. However, inside the dungeon, Jin-Woo uses only his physical strength to defeat all the nearby ice bears with a single blow, leaving everyone astonished. Jin remarks that red gates yield much more experience points. Later, while the group is having dinner, they wonder who Jin is and why he left to work out. In reality, Jin was using his shadow soldiers to eliminate the remaining ice bears, including the help of Igris. Jin realizes that his fire mage soldiers are powerful, but consume too much mana. Suddenly, the leader of the ice bears appears, quickly defeating Jin's shadow soldiers and mages, leaving only Igris. Jin tells Igris to step up, and Igris impresses everyone by slashing the bear multiple times. Even Jin-Woo is astonished. Ultimately, Igris easily defeats the ice bear leader. Jin notes that if Igris had used his sword throughout the entire battle, the bear might have won. Jin also admits that he is still not as strong as Igris. Meanwhile, Kim's group is overrun by ice elves. Terrified, Kim flees, in fear, marking the end of the chapter. Chapter 2 begins with Jin using a rise on the bear boss, and the other bears acquire a new army. Then we see the others talking, and it has been 3 hours. which would be 3 days inside the portal. Dong-soo gets tired of waiting and thinks that this Sung Jin-Woo must already be dead, but he has a doubt. Is Sung Jin-Woo from the Byakko Guild? Dong-soo asks. The journalist responds that Jin-Woo is an acquaintance of his and that he brought him because he wanted to witness a C-rank raid. Dong-soo says he's leaving, but suddenly turns around and grabs the journalist by the neck, saying he's good at sniffing out interesting things. Baek stops him, and Dong-soo lets go of the journalist, who says they need to stop or else there will be an S-rank fight. They exchange blows, and then we see Kim, who notices what the E-rank team did. He wonders how they managed to pull it off and thinks maybe it was the White Demons, the elves. Then he leaves. The scene shifts to the S ranks, and we see the assistant stopping them saying, "Why, good thing you held back. Otherwise, you might have broken your arms." He also tells Dong-soo that he ran an evaluation on Jin, confirming that he's E rank, and says Jin's brother died fighting monsters. Dong-soo leaves, and we see Kim finding the others. Kim wonders how they survived, and he's furious. Kim accuses them of taking everything and believes it was the B-rank woman who knew everything from the start, which is why she sided with the weak. Just as Kim is about to attack, Jin punches him, sending him flying several meters away. Jin notices that the elves have also arrived, following Kim. Jin talks to the leader of the elves, and without realizing it, they are speaking in another language. Jin thinks this must be the work of the system. The leader tells Jin that one of them informed him there was someone strong among the group, and he wanted to face him, but before the elf leader finishes speaking, Jin swiftly cuts off his head. Jin faces the leader, who says defeating him won't be easy. The leader then asks Jin why he is among humans if he isn't one. Jin replies, "What?" The leader says, "It seems even you don't know what you are." The leader offers a deal. If Jin hands over the humans behind him, they won't touch him. Jin asks, "What are you, and why are you fighting humans?" But before the elf leader can answer, he glitches, and Jin notices, wondering what that was. Jin rejects the proposal to hand over his friends. The elf leader says Jin is outnumbered. Jin responds, "Who, me?" and summons his shadow army. Everyone is stunned, wondering what is happening. A war breaks out between the elves and the shadow soldiers. Jin's friends try to escape, but elven archers aim at them. Just as they fire, Jin intercepts the arrows and takes down the archers in 1 second. Jin admits that the elf leader is stronger than he is, and they fight. The battle is evenly matched, with continuous attacks and dodges. The elf leader lands the first blow, knocking Jin back. But Jin's shadow mages launch a massive fireball, hitting the elf leader. Kim Chol wakes up and moves to attack Jin, as does the elf leader. Jin creates a snow curtain from which a giant shadow soldier emerges. Jin had anticipated Kim's attack, so he moves first and Igris defeats Kim. Jin uses Arise on Kim, creating a new shadow soldier capable of facing the elf leader alone. Jin names the new soldier Iron. The elf leader battles Iron but can't overpower him. The elf then asks Jin to fight him all at once, to which Jin agrees, setting up an epic 3 versus 1 battle. The elf tries to take Iron down first, but Iron distracts him, allowing Jin to stab the elf. Jin tells the elf leader to look at his soldiers, and the shadow army has already defeated the rest of the elves. Only the elf leader remains. Jin uses his weapon to distract the elf, and then has Iron trap him. The shadow mages attack the elf leader too, but the elf overpowers Iron and declares he will kill everyone. Jin, now invisible, stabs the elf leader in the side. Iron reappears and finishes off the elf with a powerful blow, winning the fight. Jin's friends ask if it's over, and Jin confirms. They prepare to leave the portal. Jin attempts a rise on the elf leader, but fails after 3 tries. The scene shifts to the outside, where the Byakko Guild president, Baek, assumes Kim Chul succeeded, but only 2 people exit the portal. Baek asks, "What happened to the others?" Then Jin and Jin's sister's friend emerge, and the portal closes. Baek asks what happened to Kim Chul, noticing the expressions on the survivors' faces. He wonders how the weakest ranks managed to get out. Jin leaves with the girl, but Baek stops him, saying he has many questions. Jin replies that he's very tired and tells Baek to speak to his guild. Baek grabs Jin again, saying that 6 of his guild members are missing, and as the person responsible, Jin needs to answer. Jin says, "I saved the other 2. Shouldn't you be thanking me if I'm responsible?" Baek apologizes and agrees, lamenting the situation. Baek asks Haejin why Jin is so on edge. She explains that he became like this after defeating the boss. The journalist suggests that Jin is just exhausted and isn't a bad guy. The journalist tells An to do whatever it takes to recruit Jin into the guild. Jin drops the girl off at her house and reflects that the only thing he managed to acquire from the elf boss was his sword. The next day, Jin and Jiho head to a raid with the girl. Jiho wonders who she is, why she calls Jin Jin-Woo, and if they have that kind of relationship. Jiho tells Jin that Sonji is underage, and Jin nonchalantly asks, "So what?" leaving Jiho stunned. They head off, and the chapter ends. The chapter begins with Jiho watching how the Shadows can complete a C-rank mission by themselves, extracting resources as well. Jiho feels useless because he doesn't contribute at all, but one of the Shadows extends its hand to him, making him feel like he's part of the effort. Then, we see an American encountering a stranger who says he wants to go home. Jiho and Jin are eating at a restaurant, and Jiho says that thanks to Jin, he can now apply for the Guild Master exam. Jiho asks Jin what he plans to do, and Jin replies that he'll be unreachable for a while because he has to go somewhere. Jiho, already drunk, tells Jin to leave him because he's useless, and he also mentions that he has a brother 10 years older than him who he hates. Jiho says he wishes Jin, who has helped him so much, were his real brother. Jin responds that from now on, they'll be brothers. We then see the stranger from before imprisoned, and the police are wondering who he is. They say he was supposedly trapped in a portal for 10 years, but they don't believe it. They speculate that he might be an anthropomorphic monster, and mention that they've called an S rank from the United States for the interrogation, Dong-Su. One officer asks another for the stranger's name, and he replies that it's a strange one, Il-Hwan Sung. Next, we see Jin saying goodbye to his sister for a week. It turns out that Jin has gone to the demonic tower, and upon entering, he's given a mission to capture 10,000 demonic souls. Then we see Jiho talking to his father, who says, "So you want to take over the guild?" and reveals everything he knows about Jin-Woo. Jiho is surprised his father knows all this, and his father asks if Jiho completed all the raids thanks to Jin-Woo's collaboration. He also asks if this is why Jiho wants to take over the guild. Jiho responds that it's true. He wants to become the guild master. His father agrees but imposes one condition. He must recruit Sung Jin-Woo into the guild. We then return to Jin, who, after defeating numerous monsters, hasn't been able to extract even a single soul. Jin summons his shadow bear leader and rides it to reach a destination. Jin names the bear Tank. Meanwhile, we see Hai-Hin training in the gym. Returning to Jin-Woo, we see him defeating demons and acquiring souls. He thinks that every floor he climbs gets harder, and that he's currently at a level slightly below B rank. He's targeting the bosses of each floor directly to climb faster. He needs to reach the 100th floor, but he's unsure if he has enough food, and doesn't know how difficult it'll be. However, he remembers his promise to his sister to save their mother. Jin fulfills the goal of collecting 10,000 souls by facing the boss of the 50th floor, using his entire shadow army. After completing the floor, he advances to the next one. Meanwhile, Aang is seen talking to a B-rank girl, saying that Jin-Woo hasn't appeared anywhere and doesn't seem to be abroad either. The girl asks how he knows all this, and he replies that it's his job. Aang wonders where on earth Jin-Woo could be. Jin orders his shadows to take care of everything except the boss, whom Jin wants to face one-on-one. We see Igris swiftly defeating countless demons with ease. Jin says that killing demons has helped him level up a lot, increasing his mana and making combat easier. Jin wonders when the boss will move, and in the blink of an eye, the boss appears right in front of him, attacking. Jin punches the boss, sending him flying, surprised by his own strength. The boss gets up and attacks Jin quickly. Jin grabs Iron's shield to block the attacks and counters. but the boss anticipates the move and avoids it. Jin devises a plan, running towards some buildings, causing the boss to crash into one. Jin seizes the opportunity to attack and defeats the boss. Meanwhile, Dong-su interrogates Il-hwan, who asks how much humanity knows about the portals. He says they've only scratched the surface, that a power has awakened that could cause a cataclysm. Dong-su asks, "So what?" To which Il-hwan responds that his goal is to prevent the cataclysm. Il-hwan adds that Dong-su seems strong, and Dong-su replies that he's got guts to introduce himself with a name if he's a monster. Il-hwan says he has a wife and 2 children, and Dong-su asks if he remembers his son's name. Il-hwan replies, Jin-Woo, and asks why he feels such bloodlust toward him. Il-hwan says he will answer Dong-su's questions, but Dong-su retorts that Il-hwan's son is dead, and that if he wants to say anything to him, he'll have to do it in the afterlife. We return to Jin-Woo, who is facing a boss. The boss asks if he's surprised by how strong he is and whether demons will feel fear. Jin-Woo defeats the boss, leveling up further and increasing his power. Next, we see a city in flames and ruins on one side. An agent comments that a battle between 2 S ranks can change geography and leave combat zones in ruins. He notes that they were lucky the damage was minimal, because Dong-su was defeated in a single second. Finally, we return to Jin-Woo, who says he's run out of food and will have to stop at the 75th floor. With only 25 floors left, he decides to leave with the benefits he's gained. Amulets, armor that boosts stats, an orb that doubles magic power usable only by his mages, and a cursed box that gave him a key whose purpose he doesn't yet know. Jin says he didn't come here just for these items. He's also obtained 2 out of 3 parts of the elixir of life needed to awaken his mother. With this, Jin leaves the tower, ending the chapter. The chapter begins with Jin thinking that he only needs one ingredient for the elixir of life, and it is the purified blood of the Demon King. He wants to prepare well for that boss, and has gone up quite a few levels in the castle, but his official rank is still E, and no matter how much he levels up, he will not be able to go to high-ranking raids. He decides to stop pretending and hiding his identity, and will take the rank test again. The next day, we see that people are preparing for the exam. An investigator is present to see who to recruit for Baek's guild, and tells him that Sung Jin-Woo has finally gone to take the test. Baek quickly decides to attend the place, and it's Jin's turn to take the test. The agent asks his name, and Jin tells her that he is Sung Jin-Woo, and also asks if it is a revaluation. Jin answers yes. The girl tells him that the way to measure his rank will be the same. Put your hand on the black crystal. He does it, and the result is an error. The girl tells Jin to do it again, and it keeps giving an error. The boss comes to the room and asks what's going on. The girl tells him that something strange is happening, since it doesn't calculate no matter how much he repeats it. The boss says that it can't be, and he tries it himself. And it gives an error. The boss gets nervous. The girl asks him what's going on. The boss says that it's not that the machine is damaged, it's that the calculation is not possible. His amount of magic power exceeds the limit of the meter. The girl then says, to which the boss answers that yes, Sung Jin-Woo is the 10th in the country to be of rank S. Then we see Jinchul talking to Choi, and they see that there is a bustle, and Jinchul says that it must be some awakened one, who had his magic power calculated, and he leaves to see who it is. Choi stops him, and tells him that he will also go because he is interested in knowing. Then we see that everyone is shocked because the meters cannot calculate Jin-Woo's power, and they look away because Choi the S rank and Jinchul arrived. Jin sees them and is surprised to see the best user of fire magic, the one they call the ultimate weapon, and says that his nickname as the weakest weapon was based on Choi's. Choi evaluates him and realizes his overwhelming power, and introduces himself to then propose to join his hunter guild, and asks him if he has already decided which guild to join, and tells him that if it seems okay to him he would like to talk about it. But Jin ignores him, and tells him that he has things to do. Choi is shocked, and they notice that Jin disappeared instantly without making a noise, and they see that Baek arrives running to the place. Baek asks where he is, but his investigator tells him that he has already left, Choi leaves, and Baek thinks that Choi should be the last to find out about Jin-Woo. Then we see Jin at the clinic with his mother, and he thinks that he looks like he is going to wake up at any moment, but he stands up and tells his mother to wait a little longer. And when he comes out, there is Jinchul outside and tells him that he realized that he may be very blind. In supervision, they watch the hunters and punish those who break the laws. He thought he had a good eye for people, but he realized that he doesn't. Jin asks him if he will watch him, and Jinchul answers yes, but not for criminal. He tells him that supervision is the only department that controls the hunters, and that, however, they cannot do anything against those of rank S, and tells him that there is someone who wants to see him, and Sung stops because he hears footsteps. The one who wants to see him introduces himself as the president of the Hunter Association, Go Gun-hee. Then we see that they sit down, and Gun-hee congratulates him for obtaining the S rank, and tells him that another reevaluation will not help much, and that with the current results he is an S rank, and Jin asks why. Gun-hee answers that it was to gain time to be able to contact him. Despite the size, the association does not have so many excellent hunters. He tells him that many look at the salary and the honor of the large guilds. He also says that Jinchul is one of the best hunters there are, but he is of rank A. He says that he will get to the point, and invites him to join them, and they will give him an important position in the association. Jin asks him why they offer him so much. Gun-hee answers that now, it is not the government that keeps the country afloat, but the hunters who defend the town, and they are distributed in 5 main guilds. They are 5 dragons that maintain a delicate balance, but if Jin joins any of them, that balance will be broken, and says that the association must be a 6th power in the country, which can control the rest. Jin asks him if that is why he should join, and Gun-hee answers that he has the power to make it happen, and asks him what he thinks. Jin says that it is not a bad deal. A position in the association assures me future promotions. Apart from the government and the media, the president must have influence everywhere, and he is an exceptional hunter, being the first S rank in the country and has great magical power and a physique that does not look his 80 years. Even for his age, he is on par with him. After going up so many levels, Jin thinks that accepting his proposal would change his life, but Jin refuses. Gun-hee thinks that Jin is looking for money, but Jin tells him that he wants to fight against the monsters, and tells him that he believes that his place is in the dungeons. Gun-hee, surprised, notices that Jin is not lying. It had been years since he felt. His heart beats so hard, and says that if he were only 10 years younger, he could fight side by side with the young man. They say goodbye and leave the place. Jin says that he has to level up as soon as possible in order to save his mother, because he can continue increasing his power. Then we see Dong-soo waking up in the hospital. The vice director asks him if Il-hwan-sung is really a monster, to which Dong-soo has a flashback, and says that if it seems to him that he is a human, and that it is clear that he is a monster. The vice director leaves, and Dong-soo, full of rage, has a memory of what that Jin's father told him. Don't come near my family again, or you won't be able to escape from me even if you die. Then we see that Jin is looking for equipment to be able to complete the dungeon, but he doesn't find anything useful, and he thinks about selling the sphere that doubles magic power, but having never gone on a high-rank raid, he won't have an excuse to say how he got it, and we see that Jin decides to go on a raid. The president talks to Jinchul, asking about Jin's past, and Jinchul tells him that he was actually E rank, even being in the hospital for serious injuries multiple times, and that he's going on a raid. The president thinks again that Jin is looking for money, but Jinchul tells him that it's a raid on the mining group, and the president is surprised and says that he's someone very unpredictable. Then we see Jin dressed as a miner. Jin thinks that in high-rank raids, the tasks within the dungeons are divided. The attack group eliminates the monsters, the mining guy extracts the mana ore, the gathering guy collects the corpses of the monsters. It requires a lot of people, but it is very profitable. Inside you see Choi finishing off monsters using his fire magic, eliminating most of them in the area. And he tells him to be careful with the smell of the lady with the sensitive nose, referring to Hai In. Everyone goes out and Jin sees Choi surprised that he can get out of a rank A portal unharmed. And then he notices Hei in the 9th rank S, and she has an overwhelming aura. Jin wonders how many people in the world there are with that level of aura. Hei notices Jin's powerful presence, but it had already hidden, and says that it felt like President Gun-hee had come and disappeared as if he didn't exist. Jin says that he is more perceptive than he imagined, and the mining group enters. While everyone works, Jin plans to see the boss of the dungeon, and they interested in seeing how strong an A-rank boss is. A man bumps into Jin, mocking him for being E-rank. Jin looks at him with his murderous gaze, and the man freaks out, wondering if he's really E-rank, and they see Jin working shirtless, and the boss is surprised and says that maybe God sent Sung Jin-Woo to be a worker. Everyone goes out to eat, but Sung stays. The boss tells him not to go too deep. When everyone leaves, Jin runs out to take a look, and when he gets to the boss's room, he says that he really seems stronger than Metis and Vulcan. Jin thinks that he still has enough common sense to know that he shouldn't kill the boss, because if he does, the portal will close and the Hunters Guild will lose a lot of money. But even so, Jin wants to provoke the boss just a little, but Hei-in appears behind him asking him what he's doing there, thus ending the chapter.